We're live? We're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Engineer Wannabe here. Um, hey, since the time. Good to see you, Sankalp. And Atmalash, good to see you guys. How are you all? Yeah, I just decided to come online not too long ago. It's been a while, almost since I've done a live stream, so I felt like coming on, talking a little bit, um, screaming into the void as Pete from Not So Obvious Watches has said in the past. But yeah, just wanted to check in. Um, Today I've been wearing my SBGY SBGY 003. There we go. Grand Seiko. Great little piece. Some call it the Grand Cocktail Time. Let me know what you guys are watching, what you guys are wearing. Hey, Penny, good to see you as well. Congrats on the new sub. That's really cool. I really enjoyed the story. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys are wearing, and I will get started. Just kind of wanted to. I've been kind of thinking about flipping watches, and at what point it might be unethical to make some money on it, because I was thinking, you know, a lot of people don't mind selling older watches at a premium, right? And it doesn't make sense to sell a Daytona for $160 or whatever it sold for in the 80s. Nowadays it'll go for 20, 30, 40, $50,000. Um, and so at what point, my question was, at what point does that become okay? There's a bit of a stigma, I think, on making money on a watch. And I was trying to figure out what line we should be crossing, and I guess I will be asking that question from a few of the guests that come on later on as well. But yeah, so basically the problem is, if you buy a watch and it's going for above retail. Say, perfect example would be Penny's Submariner. Uh, she bought it for a retail, and she could theoretically just flip it, make a whole bunch of money. Um, and a lot of people find that unethical, and it's been almost normal in, say, the comic book world, in the video game world. There are some video games that go for above retail, quite almost immediately. And I guess that's the world I kind of came from, although I haven't participated in a long time. Just want to say hi to a few guys in the chat. Hey, Bobby, good to see you. Penny says she has not taken the sub off. That's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Kyle, good to see you. And yeah, Penny says 8,100 retail. Maybe it's going for 12 to 14K. Yeah. So a lot of people find that unethical, but then a lot of others say, hey, that's it's capitalism, right? There's a demand for it. You should be able to sell it. And I see both sides of the story. I guess I should start with a preface, kind of based on all the controversy that's going on. I am the biggest noob in the watch world. I know so little, so I want to preface it with that, and this is just me thinking about stuff. Matthew, good to see you. Austin, Tom, good to see you. Town Watch, hey, good to see you as well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I'm the biggest noob alive. I'm only 30 years old. I am a noob at life as well. Although I have had 3 kids, which makes me feel a bit old right now. I am tired. So with that preface in, I was thinking about what makes it okay for us to sell a watch at, say, higher than list, and I can see both sides of the argument, right? One person would say there's a demand for a watch, or say any good, and because there's a demand, and the supply does not meet the demand, we should be able to sell it for, whatever someone's willing to pay for it. And the other side of the argument is, hey, that's not right. There's a listed price. There's an RRP or MSRP in some countries, that says that this is the maximum retail price. You should not be able to sell it at any higher than this. And if you are selling it for anything higher, it's unethical. Um, and yeah, I get both sides of the the coin. I get both sides of the story, and it's a little frustrating. But what I guess let's talk about where I land on this. I kind of land toward the side of it being unethical to sell a watch at higher than retail, but at the same time, I can't really fault anyone for doing so. Um, However, if someone does buy a whole bunch of them for the sole purpose of selling it above retail, that I think is highly unethical. But then, what does it matter? That's the other question. What does it matter what I think? Who am I to make a rule about this or that? And it all kind of falls apart. Everyone has their own rules, right? So I guess the question is, where can we have a solid line of a solid line of, hey, this is okay and this is not okay, and it should be agreed upon by a lot. And I don't think we'll ever get to that point, but ideally that's the point where we should come to. uh, Hey Bobby, it's good to see you. um, Rob is checking in. uh, Town Watch says he's a noob as well. um, Nimai 108. Hey, Nimai, he's asking about the new King Seiko. We'll talk about that. Definitely talk about that. MacBook Air. Bobby just got ordered a MacBook Air. Laptop was 10 years ago. Wow, that's a long duration to have the laptop. Rob says he's an old man. You're not an old man, Rob. 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. I have a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So I got you beat there, Rob. Bobby says he's an older man, do not have kids yet, so you have more life experience than me. That's absolutely not true. It's easy to have kids, and I know so little. So which is what the controversy was about, right? With the Zenith Chronomaster Sport. I just couldn't understand why people were losing their minds over it. But I mean, I guess watching some people's ideas about it kind of gives me a bit of perspective about what people are talking about, why people are upset. Because before I just didn't get it, and I was thinking, well, am I naive, or am I missing something? But yeah, we'll talk about that too. Bob, good to see you, Bob. Thanks for logging on. Whoa, bit of Tim Mosso coming out there. Good to see you, Jeffrey, and good to see you, Eric. Watch once over. He says, in my experience, is every time I'm trying to sell a watch, people want to pay way under what the watch is worth. So I purposely put the watch $500 to $1,000 over just so I can get what it's really worth. Yeah, I do that too, actually. But what I was talking about was more of selling something over retail. Say if a watch is, as in Penny's case, the Submariner is worth $8,100 US. It's selling for 12 to 14,000 US. So yeah, I guess the ideal thing to do is to come to a conclusion where we have a line. This is right. This is wrong. We are not going to come to that conclusion. So all I can do is share with you my conclusion of where I've come to figure it out. And I'm sure this is not big news or anything. I'm sure a lot of people have come to this conclusion. But I think a watch is okay to be sold over retail if it has been discontinued, or if it's all sold out, in the sense that they're not making anymore, which is being discontinued anyway. So in the case of this SBGY 003, I think it's all sold out. I don't know. So conflict of interest, but I think maybe I'm able to sell this for overlist. I don't ever intend to sell it, but maybe I'm allowed to. Maybe you guys can chime in. But let's find another example that's not a conflict of interest. Maybe the SARB 033, 035. Those have been known to be discontinued. So I guess it's okay to sell those over retail. At least that's the conclusion that I've come to. However, the sub, or the Daytona, I don't think that's okay. I mean, of course, again, we come to supply and demand and capitalism, right? So it should be okay to sell it, but I guess that's the line I've come to. For me personally, because we can't all come to an equal agreement. For me, it is, if the watch has been discontinued and is no longer in production, then it is okay to go above retail, because that's it, and they're not going to make any more. There is no MSRP anymore. There's no maximum retail registered MSRP, maximum. I forget what that stands for, but maximum retail price is no longer in existence. And that makes sense, because you can't sell a Daytona now for $160. They go for $50,000. Paul Newman Daytona, maybe more, $80,000. Anyway, that was the conclusion I came to. Let me know what you guys think. I would like to know. Again, I'm a noob at life, so always looking to refine my thoughts. Sands of Time says, Watch Advisor does a good video on news and its sports. In fact, Daytona is a homage to it. They were the first to pioneer the design. I will have to check that out. My friend just had a boy today, 11 pounds, 9 ounces. Wow, that's a heavy baby. Congrats, Jeffrey, an extension to your friend. Altamash says, the new Zenit Chrome Master Sports are an amazing alternative to the Rolex. I do agree. I think it looks a bit better, actually. I think as long as there are buyers willing to pay over retail, there will be sellers willing to sell. Yep, absolutely. Which is why it becomes an ethical issue, because then there will be scalpers. Eventually, everything will turn into a business opportunity, and the people who want to buy will lose out. Which is why I guess people get a bit bent out of shape. Bob says, congrats to Jeffrey. Yeah, that's a lot of baby. If I get a call from two 80s for the same watch, I think I would take both rather than upset one of the 80s, but I would have to sell one of them. Likely at retail to a friend. That's actually very noble of you, Penny. Yeah, that's a great solution. That way you do get to maintain your relationship with your ADs. Good point. A used watch should never be over retail. I agree, but then we come to the vintage watch thing, right? We can't sell a watch at what it cost in perpetuity, right? At some point, that's going to have to flip. At some point, we're going to have to decide, hey, now it's okay to sell it over retail because of inflation and things like that. So that's where it gets sticky. Kyle says, I don't know anyone personally that has purchased a Rolex at over list. We all buy from the AD, but people out there are paying over. Yep, I can see that. I am a very impatient person. So if I really, really, really wanted a Rolex steel sports watch, which I don't, but if I really did, I could see myself, be willing to pay a little bit over, but I'm not interested at the moment, and I'd much rather pay retail, as would anyone. Seiko 9,000 piece limited edition shouldn't go over retail. Yeah, I agree. Manufacturer's suggested retail price. Yep. Oh, thank you, Bob. Manufacturer's suggested retail price. Okay, so it's not like a maximum limited retail price. Horology house. Um, okay. Yeah. So I think someone asked about the King Seiko. I did want to talk about that as well. King Seiko with the 6L35, brand new. Um, Tom Austin, Uptick did the thing about 80s selling to gray market in HK. Yes, Uptick did quite a investigation actually. It was really interesting. Penny asks, are there any anti-magnetic watches that you really like? I do really like the Railmaster trilogy specifically with the Explorer dial. Um, that's anti-magnetic. I do like the Milgauss, but I don't think I'd be willing to own a Rolex at this point, at least. Um, what else? Uh, Most of the Tudor watches are anti-magnetic now because they have silicon balance springs, I think. So the North flag is really nice. Um, Aquaterra is really nice. The Omega Aquaterra. So quite a few anti-magnetic watches that I like. Scott's Odyssey says hi. Okay, so let's talk about the King Seiko. So the King Seiko is a really nice piece, really nice. It's one of the higher end Seikos. It has a higher end movement. I think a lot of people don't like the 6L35, and um, Sands of Time and I are gonna probably go into it into a greater depth when we do have a live stream, hopefully sooner rather than later. But so the 6L35, I really like. I used to own a watch with the 6L35. I used to own the SJE073. And if I'm not mistaken, the 6L35 used to be a movement that they made for to compete with the ETA 2892. So the higher end ETA movement. And it does feel really nice. It's a nice movement, and I do like it. Uh, but what does it go for? 3,300 US dollars. I think around 4,400 Canadian dollars. That's a bit much, but I get it. It is Zeratsu polished, meaning it is, if I'm not mistaken, Zeratsu means it is hand finished. So the 44KS reissue is a hand finished case, which is rare, especially at that price point, and it's beautifully done. I mean, I'm really torn. I don't think it's worth that 3,300 US dollars, but I do appreciate the fact that it's hand done, hand finished. That case at least, and that's what really draws me to a watch. I really like the personal touch, I guess. Even though this is a mass produced piece of 3,000 pieces, I mean, can that would be a massive undertaking to do, like to hand do. So maybe I don't know. Maybe they still do Zeratsu polish each one of those. Um, and if they do, I think it's worth it. But I don't know. I don't think I'm willing to pay that kind of money for a King Seiko. Um, Even at the 3,000 piece limited edition. I know a couple of ADs are only getting like two or three pieces. So I don't know if they're releasing it in a staggered way. Well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So that's my thoughts on the King Seiko. But yeah, we'll talk more about it at a later live stream. Um, Scott's Odyssey says hi, hey, good to see you. Matthew says I'm grateful to have been able to purchase the SBGJ235. I'll have it tomorrow. Yeah. Well, the watch box has one pre-owned for 1650 over retail. Yeah, that's a really beautiful piece. I don't know if you guys have seen the SBGJ 235. It's a Mount Iwate dial. Let me pull it up for you guys actually. Um, Mount Iwate dial piece. Bear with me here. Okay. SBGJ235. Beautiful blue Mount Iwate dial with like a pinkish GMT hand. And this is ridiculously rare. I really I'm really annoyed at how rare this is. I would really like to own a Mount Iwate blue dial piece. So that would include the SBGK 005. That's a hand bound power reserve piece. Or the SBGG. I prefer this one. The SBGK 005 is a really nice piece though. And it's very similar to the Grand Seiko that I'm wearing right now, the SBGY 003. So really, really beautiful pieces. And it is really exciting, Matthew, that you got a hold of this. I have been looking for a while. Again, I'm really apprehensive about buying something online, which is why I have not purchased one. Um, but yeah, I'll have to get over that at some point. Penny says Railmaster 57 is a beautiful watch. If I get 2 Milgauses, I'll sell one to you. Thanks, Penny. But yeah, I still can't own a Rolex, mainly because of the brand recognition. And I think if Grand Seiko gets to that level too, I might have to step away from Grand Seiko. Milgauss is a really fun Rolex. Chaz from the Berg, welcome. Good to see you. Kevin, really good to see you as well. Kevin asked me if I would get this in King Seiko. I would if I can get a discount. A lot of people are saying that they are not giving a discount on this thing, and for a 3,000 piece limited edition, I find that kind of hard to swallow. So Altamash then asks, "Hey Sanjay, which is one Seiko you will always keep and never flip?" Does that include Grand Seiko? I yeah, wow, that's a tough question. If it includes Grand Seiko, I will not flip this guy. This is the SPGY 003. If you guys haven't seen it, or are just tuning in, I do not intend to ever flip this guy, barring any financial disaster. Kevin says boutique only. Is the King Seiko boutique only? I don't think so. I have a few ADs who in Toronto who are going to get them. So Penny says that GS is nice. Thanks, Penny. Yeah. Oh, she means the SBG J235. Yeah, that is really nice. I wish I had it. Do you not like the brand recognition? I don't, Tom. I don't like the brand recognition. Only because we were actually talking about this on the watch collecting strategy Slack group. I am involved in some charity work. I guess I go out on the streets every once in a while, to see if I can help. And I'm a Christian, so I do talk to people about Jesus. And yeah, I don't want to be wearing a Rolex doing that. That's just doesn't work. It doesn't work in my head, at least. And I have trouble rationalizing owning these expensive watches as well. So yeah, if you were tuned into my stream with Miguel, we talked about me being a kid playing in the sand, and me enjoying this hobby is kind of like me playing in the sand. But I feel like at some point playtime's going to be over, right? Which is why I can't I don't like the brand recognition of a Rolex. It just is too luxurious to someone on the outside looking in. Which is funny because you could own something way more expensive, and to me, I'd be okay with that because it's not about wealth or showing off. But a Rolex, while us watch enthusiasts, we may own Rolexes because we love the watch, and I do really like a lot of Rolexes because the watch is really cool, really interesting, really exciting. But to a layperson, it's a status symbol, and that's my problem with it. Unfortunately, I don't mean that it should be a problem for anyone else. It's just personally, just for me. As Rob would say, not for me. It's just not for me. KSK is worth it with 20% off. I agree. 20% is a good off price for the 44 KS reissue. Do you say more about your relationship to brand recognition? Is it off-putting? Yeah, just spoke about that. So yeah, I that's my only with brand recognition. Just for someone out on the outside looking in, it's so luxurious to own a Rolex, which is funny because they're tool watches. But yeah, I don't think we will see discounts either. Um, let's see, what else are you guys talking about? Penny says you have such a great story for the King Seiko. Definitely a keeper. I agree. It's a great story, and I made a great friend buying that watch. So I'm excited to keep it. That same guy offered me a really cool high beat King Seiko in stunning, absolutely stunning condition. Um, I passed on it, and he decided to keep it. So I'm grateful that he decided to keep it, because if he wants to sell it again, I don't think I could refuse it twice. So Ted, if you're watching this now or later, and you decide to sell that at another point, do get back to me. So yeah, it's a great story that I met this great guy um, because of that King Seiko. Watchfinder reviewed that watch. Do you ever feel nostalgic and happy whenever you watch Watchfinder review? GF yours? Absolutely. Funny thing is, I've actually saved that video on my computer so that I can watch it every once in a while without. Well, I guess YouTube is really accessible now, but I have the video of the SBGY 003 that Watchfinder did. Just because I kind of like scrapbooking. So with the King Seiko, a really funny thing that I did when I did get the King Seiko is I looked everywhere for this thing online to find traces of it, and it was like this crazy expedition to figure out the story of this watch. And funnily enough, I did find quite a bit of information about the King Seiko that I got. I found a video that was posted in um, I think August or February of 2020, and it was the same watch, because I was looking at this video and I was like, hey, that serial number is familiar, and it was the watch. It was the same watch that I got, and it was in Vietnam or something at that point, because of the language that was the video description was in. So crazy that I was able to find it. I found a Reddit listing with the same watch. So the same watch that I own, I found a Reddit listing, and of course, I have the transaction information that I all printed out, and I put it into like this little folder. So I have like this record keeping addiction, I guess. You should see the records I keep of my cars. I do most of the work for on my cars, so I do my own oil changes, tire rotations, and you'll see me with the odometer, writing all the information down, checked fluids, and just I'm really particular, I guess. I'm very fussy. I'm not a nice customer. Uh, Wearing the Pink Spring Grand Seiko SPGA 413. Yes, absolutely. That would be the one that I would take from you, Bobby. uh, Beautiful watch. I really need to get my eyes on one of those, because I have not seen it. Penny is a fan. Glad to know that you're into charity work. Thank you. I don't like to really talk about it, but it comes up. Please suggest a first Grand Seiko for my collection. What kind of budget were you thinking of, Altamash? Sorry. Center links are a drawback of the Milgauss. The watch fits like a charm. The Milgauss does wear heavy, but you get used to it. I like the black GV. So weird, funny looking, but cute. Yeah. 44 GS case. I do agree. It's beautiful. Tom has to go. Good to see you, Tom. Thanks for joining. Um, Altamash says 2,000 US dollars. So I guess um, hmm, that leaves us with a few quartz pieces, a lot of vintage options. Uh, I don't know if you're okay with quartz pieces, Altamash, but I would recommend anything in the SPGX line. So the SPGX 259, which is what I have, SPGX 261, 263, those are all really beautiful. They are the entry level into the Grand Seiko world, but they are finished as the top end models are, and you'll really notice it. That was probably the SPGX 263, I think, was the first Grand Seiko I ever saw in person, and I had a few high end Seikos at that point, but when I looked at the SPGX 263 and I held it, I gasped because it was so beautifully finished. And it was on another level to the high end Seikos that I had at the time. So really do recommend the SPGX lineup. Kevin suggests the SPGX 341. I do not know that one. Let me look this one up. SPGX 341. I forgot to share my screen. Ha. Oh, yes. The anti-magnetic one. That is really, really nice. That's a really well done piece. And I'm a huge fan of this case shape. So I had the SPGP 015 for a while, and I think the SPGP 015 is the evolution of this case. So it's very similar, but boy, does it wear really well. It's really nice, and I would recommend that as well. Great recommendation, Kevin. Kyle unboxed his on his channel. I'll have to look that up, Kyle. I didn't know you had a channel. Definitely will be looking into that. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to do a really quick live chat. Been kind of missing out on talking to you guys about watches, so thought I'd come on. Let me know what you think, especially about the ethics of selling a watch over retail. What do you guys think? I definitely enjoy the input of a lot of you guys who are way more experienced than I am. And even the guys who might be less experienced than I am, we should all, share information and enjoy the hobby that way. So let me know what you guys think. Really nice seeing you all. I do want to say hi to a few people. Want to say hi to Miguel at SoCal Watch Reviews. He did a great podcast on the SoCal Watch Reviews podcast with the Mad Watch Collector. Check out those guys. Check out Russell and Miguel. Check out Bobby Legs, his YouTube channel. Really, really good stuff. Really enjoy their live streams. Amin and Bobby. You guys should check them out. Also, Penny, all in her movements. Great stuff. Corey, I am very rich. I like buying a watch of high end. That's great, Corey. I am not very rich, but I like buying a watch of high end as well. Check those guys out. It's a great time to be a watch enthusiast. There's so much information, so much content, let me know what you guys think. But thank you all for joining me, and you are special. You are. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.